Hey there, boys and girls of the YouTube world. Today, the Duff Dog and I are going to see if we can't get this 1959 Pontiac on the road for the first time with its brand new Crown Vic swap. So let me show you this thing that I paid 500 bucks for. Custom made fender skirts, check. Custom fill cap, check. Gobs of spare parts in the trunk, check. Completely sanded down body, check. Full spare exhaust inside the car, check. Lincoln interior, check. Serpentine belt not installed, check. And we also got the venerable, vulnerable amazingness. I think these are like 240-ish horse, 4.6 liter, but we got fuel injection, overdrive, AC. They did graft the dash in there. I hate Crown Vic swaps. They're too wide. They do drive great. They're a nice upgrade from drum brakes. But in my opinion, you gotta stick with this motor and transmission because the engine mounts are already there and you're already killing a Crown Vic, so you may as well use the 4.6 and the overdrive. The problem with these is aftermarket harnesses are super expensive, so you gotta kind of cut it up yourself. They got a pulse width modulated fuel pump, so you kind of gotta use their fuel pump system. There's not a lot of aftermarket performance parts for these, not a lot of options. And what is out there is expensive, but a lot of guys use them. This one's actually way better than I thought it was. I got it because I thought we were gonna make fun of it. It was gonna be the laughing stock, but I'm actually pretty impressed. Got electric fans. Looks like it's got a newer alternator on it. The fan belt is not on it, and hopefully it's not locked up, but the AC compressor is locked up, so I'm guessing that's why it was not installed when we got it. It's got a newer interstate battery in here that they let freeze up, so we're gonna have to replace that. It's all sacked out in the rear because it's got airbag suspension. The guy that I got it from got it for free from his buddy who did all this work and ran out of room and ambition and all that stuff. Life came around. And I saw the thing and I said, I want to give you money for it and make a video. And he just wanted the front end and the motor and transmission. And I said, let's make a video first and then we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's throw a battery in this thing, see if it runs and drives. If we can get this thing running and driving, I bet it drives really good. And these cars are like the widest cars out there. So if you can't clear these wheels and tires in a 59 Pontiac, then there's pretty much nothing you can clear the wheels and tires. I did this exact same swap. Well, I just did the front end swap in a 1968 Ford pickup. I used the 4.6 and all that stuff, but I used the 68 Ford pickup frame. And when I got that pickup as low as I wanted to, you had to notch the frame to get it low like I like them. And then the wheels and tires rubbed, and these things have a super crazy positive offset. So there's not a lot of wheel and tire options. Pretty much the best one is like the SVT Cobra 5-spoke wheels. That's like the best option other than the stock Steelies and dog dish center caps like I ran. And if you want to put like a cool looking wheel and tire on there that doesn't have crazy positive offset, it's this wide out the side of the car. So that's my biggest problem with these things is in order to get them low, you gotta have a really wide car or you gotta have clearance.
2-4. We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, roger. What's our vector, Victor?
All right, let's throw a battery in this thing and see what the heck happens. Wood Pimp is our battery sponsor this week. You too can be a battery sponsor at mortskerepair.com. Luckily, none of this stuff is tightened up, so we can just pop this battery out of there, which they should have done before they put it outside and let it freeze. All right, that one's gonna require a wrench. Hopefully it didn't drive it very far because there's not much holding this battery in here. Well, hopefully, let's be honest. How far did he really drive it? Well, we got clicking and clacking. He did say the ignition switch would not turn, but he was thinking that maybe that was due to having a dead battery. I don't know, late model stuff. Speaking of late models, this has got the aluminum cradle on the front end, and that's the one that everybody wants to use for these swaps because they just bolt right in. So usually the F100s, they unbolt these and bolt them in there. But anyway, that was 2003 they started that, and then they went through 2011, which was the last year of the Crown Vics. But this is a Lincoln, so we can tell everybody that our car is Lincoln swapped and not Crown Vic swapped. It's different. What is making noise? All right, let's make sure we got her in park. Key turn? Nope. Well, that's gonna be interesting. I can't even get the key out. What is going on here? Oh, well, I just ripped the key ring off of the key. Anybody know how to hotwire a Lincoln Continental? Is that what this is? Continental? Town car. Probably town car, right? I don't know, is it one front wheel drive, one rear wheel drive? Okay, Getting the pliers out to remove a key, not ideal. Yeah, this is probably why they gave up on this project. Couldn't get the frickin' ignition switch to turn. This is not gonna end well. Let's take this cover off and see if we can get a visual of the lock cylinder. And by taking that off, I mean let's destroy it. Well, not destroy it. Let's cut it, because you're not supposed to be able to take this off without the tumbler being removed. The lock cylinder, per se.
Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Come on now. There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah. Get out of my life and into the back seat. Now, who hurt you? I was hoping it was like a GM where it just has a rack and pinion and it pulls the rod back and forth and we just unhook it and pull on the rod, but it looks like it's actually built into this switch. The tumbler has the switching system in it. In order to remove the lock tumbler, you're supposed to turn it to accessory and then push on this pin down here. And one guy says if you drill that pin out, that'll alleviate all your issues. So let's do that. I swear I've never stolen a vehicle. I've been accused of it. I think the pin just wants to spin instead of drill. Drill, baby, drill. We haven't tried a hammer yet. This is definitely why this guy gave up on this project, the ignition switch. I don't blame him. Is it progress? Did we get it? Of course not. All right, the pin's not there anymore, so why won't it come out? Should we hook the slide hammer onto the key? Let's see what happens. I'm working up a sweat in here. We've been working at this for over an hour now. It's pretty awesome. Hey, we got the key out. Now what? Key goes back in. I think we stripped it out. Hey, we snapped the end off the tumbler, but everything's out of there. Almost, except that little nub in there. We're making a mess now. Oh, are you kidding me? I should have just done that in the first place. So the ignition switch runs a rack and pinion, which pushes back and forth on this. There we go, that's key on. How about crank? Is that the neutral safety switch? Or maybe it won't crank over because we don't have our fancy key in there? Who knows? Maybe it's a bad connection on the battery. Let's go tighten those. Hopefully it's just a bad connection, and that's why it's just going click. And it's not nothing to do with the vats. Oh, it's got a new exhaust manifold on this side. Surely this wiring mess that's been sitting outside getting rained and snowed on has nothing to do with why it won't crank over. All right, let's try this again. Nothing. Okay. Why does it not crank? What are the odds we can get at the starter and just bypass it? Where's the starter at on these things? Ooh, new manifold on this side too. Lucky. That would be my luck. It doesn't even have a starter on it, but it's over here. Let's hook a loser switch up and bypass it and see if something else is going on. Something's going on. We're not getting power to the starter for some reason, whether it's an interlock like a neutral safety switch or something the computer's saying. We're just gonna go right to the source. Maybe it's a bad starter. That would be my luck. Please don't kill me, Crown Vic. All right, here goes nothing. Well, now that we got it cranking over, let's see if we got sparking fuel. Where is the fuel pressure tester? dealio. Where are the spark plug wires at? Oh, these are coil on plug, huh? There's our fuel pressure regulator. Where is the Schrader valve? So these are a coil on plug design. So there's really no spark plug wires, no distributor. So let's pull one of these suckers out of here and then hook it up to a tester, or a spark plug, and see if we're getting spark. Where's a good ground? Fuel rail? Probably not a good idea. Let's do her upright and run a ground directly to the battery from the spark plug. All right, here we go. We got spark. Well, there you have it. We got spark. Now we just got to test, see if we got fuel. We might be lucky, and it might just be out of gas.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Or it's bad gas and it plugged up all our injectors. Or it's the VATs saying, don't fire the fuel injectors because somebody's trying to steal me. And in that case, we're in trouble. Oh no. Did I just break that? I think that boot's supposed to slide on and off. I suppose we could have fuel pressure and the injectors aren't firing though because the computer says, hey, we're being stolen. Ooh, it could be the inertia switch telling the fuel pump not to run as well. Wherever that's at. That's the other thing is I don't know if this is an 03 Lincoln Continental or it's an 08 town car. Who knows? We should probably figure that out. I'm guessing we could hook up to the OBD2 and then that should give us our serial number and that should tell us what the vehicle is. But that's to be determined later. There's a lot of mud or tar here. We'll talk about that later. It should be magnetic. There's got to be a fuel pressure testing apparatus somewhere in here, right? Ah, there's our fuel line. That's where it's coming up from the tank. It goes in right there to our fuel rail. Is there no Schrader valve to test? I guess we could unhook it, spray fuel everywhere, and that'll tell us if we got fuel here, huh? Probably not an ideal thing to do. All right, got our fuel line here. Gonna use our fancy adapters to remove said fuel line connector and see if we got fuel coming out. Oh, do we gotta use special ones because it's a Ford? Probably. There we go. There you have it. No fuel. Why we no get no fuel? It's a shame we don't have the cover for the fuse panel. Maybe it's inside the car somewhere. Maybe we'll cycle the keys a couple times and see. Ooh, that smells bad. See if we get some fuel spraying everywhere. No fuel. That's gonna be a problem. We gotta get fuel there. So, could be the inertia switch. Like I said, it could be the ECU saying, hey, we're getting stolen, don't send fuel pressure. It could be a bad pump, we could be out of gas, could be a lot of things. So, first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and clean all the junk out of this car and see if we can't find the cover for the fuse relay center here so we can figure out which one's for the fuel pump. And hopefully we identify the inertia switch somewhere laying in the car, or we could find the wiring for that because maybe they cut the wiring and the inertia switch isn't there anymore. So, and hopefully we just find some other goodies, maybe some gold bullion or some silver, probably copper, catalytic converters. I guess let's start with the trunk. Looks like we got some parts to do our exhaust. Allegedly, there's a full exhaust for a town car in here. Goggles for cleaning the mouse house out. Ooh, oh, that's the horn button for the Pontiac. Should probably hang on to that. Super cool steering wheels on these things. Town car dash stuff. More dash. Oh, is this the trim for right here? Heck yeah. There's a fuse cover. Heck yeah. It's just got numbers on it though. See owner's manual. Where are we gonna find the owner's manual? You could fit a whole Lincoln in the trunk of a 59 Pontiac. Lincoln center caps and some headlight wiring. Ooh, and the taillight harness. Oh no, it's the taillight wiring. We're gonna probably need that. We got a magnetic parts tray out of the deal. All right, that's about it. So in case you haven't guessed, he used the floor plan out of the Crown Vic. And there's a plug back here, and there's also one up there. I'm hoping one of those is for the fuel pump. I think the fuel tank's up there, right above the rear end. There's some pretty ugly welds in here, but it actually looks like it's halfway sealed up. Okay, it's gotta be that wiring up there. This looks like it's for some evap stuff. I am gonna check this harness back here just to make sure there's no snipped wires. Well, there is definitely snipped wires. Because if there's cut wires, those could potentially be our problem. What a disaster. If we had the owner's manual, we could determine where the inertia switch is at. We should probably keep looking for it, but I'm gonna look at these wires quick. That looks like it would be a ground. What about this guy? What is your function? All right, 2 cut wires back here, but I'm pretty sure that they're grounds. And maybe they're the ground for the fuel pump, but I doubt it. All right, let's clean out the inside, see what we find. Who buys a new exhaust for a car that doesn't run? All right, it was worth it for the nice grill. Pretty decent piece right there. Freaking H-pipe. Anyway, part of the exhaust. I guess that's probably an expensive piece. I'm guessing that's a tailpipe. A couple of straight galvanized. Oh my God. Those aren't even exhaust couplers. Those are for like conduit. Is that what that is? Yes, that's definitely conduit. Oh, silly electricians. Other tailpipe, complete with hanger. Got a lot of stainless in here. Wish they would have just left it on the car and not sanded it. Wouldn't that have been nice? New old stock Ford parts. What is this? The ignition switch, probably. Oh, I bet that's the wiring for the alternator that's not hooked up. Washer tank. Cowl / wiper cover. Oh, he was a plumber and an electrician. So much trim. At least he saved it. Oh, yes. Tarp strap, hooks on both ends, made in USA. That's a score. Oh, what's this? Inertia switch. Dang it, it's wired together with wire nut. More electrical and some veiny balls of Christmas decor. Fa-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. Oh, there's the fuse relay center cover. Good thing he saved the rear seat. Definitely gonna need that. More trim. Oh yes, another veiny ball. So what do we got back here? Huh, on off. What is that for? There would have been in the back seat. The trunk light? I don't know. Anyway, this should be the inertia switch. I believe they run up the C-pillar up here. And they've cut it and twisted it together very nicely with a wire nut, because apparently this guy was an electrician. I think that's the fuel pump controller. Sure enough, fuel pump driver module. It says right on it, made in USA. Anyway, let's see if we can figure out what this thing is. Where this inertia switch wire goes. Why this is cut off. What this switch does. Anyway, yeah, I feel like this is the issue with the fuel system. It's figured out. So we got power coming back here to our inertia switch, and then coming out of the inertia wire nut. And it goes into the driver, but look at how green and nasty that is. Maybe we'll clean that up, see if that resolves the issue. Probably not. Gross.
Much later.
All right, I've done enough research on this thing to be fairly certain that it is the PATS. I don't know, it's the anti-theft system that Ford called it, PATS. I'm not getting a signal, the injector's hooked up a noid light, got nothing there, we're not getting any fuel, and I checked everything that I can check there, so I'm pretty sure that it is the PATS that's causing it. The PATS is built into the key. Obviously there was a problem with the key before when we got the car, and part of the PATS on the 03 and newer Crown Vics and Fords is that they will not crank, and this thing doesn't crank either unless we bypass it. Also, check this out, window sticker, $41,000 for this thing in 2003. And sure enough, what's listed on here? Secure lock anti-theft system. That's what's getting us. This thing was originally silver birch clear coat metallic with a dark stone medium light stone leather interior. It's a 2003 executive four-door. All right, let's get this thing on the rollback. His place is about an hour, so I got 2 hours of driving plus all the time at his place, and paying him to do it, so yeah, this thing's getting way deeper than I want to do. Wonder how good this is all gonna line up. Hey, the wheel well actually fits in the opening. I was extremely concerned with that not being in the wheel well opening, but it looks like it's pretty dang close. So this is the stock core support, or part of it anyway. And I believe it's supposed to go in those two holes there, but it's, good grief, 2-3 inches too far ahead. We might have to cut his booger welds here and move that back, because then everything else is just gonna line up better, Duff says. Yeah, there ain't much holding it, so shouldn't be too hard. Oh yeah, there's the other hole. I thought it'd be on the backside. Watch out, Duff. Lucille, get your paws. I was hoping we could sneak this in with the inner fender on there. It looks like they'd been welding some brackets to it, but there ain't no way that that inner fender is gonna fit without a lot of modification. Oh my goodness, it looks a million times better. Unfortunately, because of the cowl area firewall, you can't really put the hood hinges on it unless they attach to the fender. Well, we just happen to have the hood hinges. Everything's there to attach them. This is great. If all else fails, we can just kick this thing outside. It'll all be covered up. How can we be so lucky? I tell you what, this guy did a pretty good job of leaving what needed to be left. I'll give him that. Oh no, where's the bolt hole on this side? Oh, there it is. He didn't leave the bolt in it like he did on the other side. It still needs some more securing, but it's in place. It looks a lot cooler, and we still got plenty of room to work underneath here. It would be really cool to have inner fenders, and I think that'll take a bunch of work of trimming and fitting and all that, but we can also tie this core support to the existing core support, and there's a bunch of bolts in the front. Get a bumper on it, that'll tie her together as well. I want to leave the hood off because we're going to do a little troubleshooting under here. I got a feeling at some point, probably. We also got to make a battery bracket because the battery's just kind of hanging out there. You gotta put an AC compressor on there, or a delete or a bypass pulley, something like that, because that seems to be seized up. Good news is the engine's not seized up, but it looks a heck of a lot better than it did 20 minutes ago. All right, here's the plan. We sent the ECU off to Backwoods Racing LLC in Michigan. They specialize in making standalone harnesses for these things and flashing ECUs. They do LSs, they do Crown Vics, they do Lincolns. So it's just under 150 bucks to have them do their services, and then obviously we had to pay shipping on our end. So they said as soon as we get it, we should have it turned around in a couple of days. So hopefully we get that thing back in a few days and we throw it on here and it fires right up. I did find a service on eBay that kind of does the same thing, but they have one ready to go and ship to you, and it was 350 bucks. So figure we can wait a couple extra days for 200 bucks. I hate you, you stupid town Lena Ponta Lincoln. What do we call this thing? The Ponticon.
3 weeks later.
Well. It's been a few weeks, but we got our ECU back from Backwoods Racing LLC. We got this thing to no longer have theft stuff on it. So let's stuff this thing back in, and hopefully we get everything. fuel pressure, crank, ignition, all the good stuff. Let's slide this thing back in and see if this is our problem. And if not, we're going straight to the crusher with this thing. See if I remember how to install it. I just gotta hook this connector up. Does it only go one way? That would make sense. For dumb. You push the connector into the firewall and this into the firewall and it makes a connection. But we're just gonna do it out here, under the fender. Here we go. We should be getting fuel here if the key's on. Maybe the key's not on? I don't know. I don't even remember what we had going on for the key situation. I remember the key functionality wasn't functional. Keep an eye open right here for fuel spraying everywhere. Well, that fender gets into the door. Still no crank. Great. We are making progress. Check this out. I got her cranking over anyway. I don't have any fuel up here, but maybe it's just out of fuel. Who knows? Maybe the fuel pump seized up from sitting. It's been a while. And all I did was, there's a ground right here, which I doubt that's where it was from the factory, but that wasn't hooked up because I unhooked it to put that inner fender in there. And I saw it and I thought, well, maybe it's the ground. Sure enough, hook that up and that big harness goes into the ECU. You want to push the button, Duff? And like I said, it was a couple weeks ago when I did this, but I don't think that I unhooked that at that time. So anyway, let's see if we can get some fuel pumping. Well, let's check the fuel gauge. What's the fuel gauge say? That's the other thing is we could have another ground or wire issue going to the fuel pump too, but hopefully it just ain't got no gas in it.
It ain't got no gas in it.
We still don't have gauges. Or no, it's the key's off. How many miles are on this thing? It hasn't been showing us miles yet. Yeah, everything drops out. I feel like the odometer should be displaying. Well, fuel says we got just about a quarter tank. But it's the first time we've got it cranking over from the ignition switch. Now we just gotta figure out why the fuel pump ain't sending fuel to the fuel rail. We got the schlong rammed in there. See if I can't get it better for you. Anyway, I'm on the bottom of the tank. Looks like some metal shavings or maybe water droplets in there. But you know what's not in there? Fuel, maybe. If we dump a few gallons of petroleum in there, we'll be okay. Never mind all those water droplets or metal shavings though. He must have added some type of fuel filler neck or it lined up really well, but it looks brand new, as does the fuel cap. Oh, no way. He took a brand new fuel cap and then scuffed it up to make it look old. Some people's kids. All right, thanks, Slong, for checking that out. Well, place your bets. You think the petroleum's gonna fix it? I sure hope so, because I'm sick of electrical troubleshooting on this thing, and that's pretty much what it's gotta be, is electrical, right? Is it running on the floor? It shouldn't. We just looked in there and we could see the bottom of the tank, so it should be connected. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the key on, see if we can get some fuel cycled up to the engine and shoot all over everything and burn this mother trucker down along with the shop. And then I can finally pursue my dancing career. Is key off, Duff? Of course not. And we still don't have fuel. Give her a crank. No fuel. So still no fuel. We could have a bad fuel pump. The fuel line could maybe not be hooked up. There's a fuel pump module. I don't know. A lot of things it could be. You know what it hasn't been? Easy. I guess if it was easy, everybody would do chassis swaps on Crown Vics. I'm gonna keep digging. I'll let you know what I find. Okay, so I checked the relays, checked everything out, and we bypassed the fuel pump driver and we sent power straight to the fuel pump and we got no fuel and it trips the breaker. So I think the fuel pump is seized up. So we're gonna put it on the lift and drop the fuel tank and get the fuel pump out. See what we can do now that we got 6 more gallons of gas inside of it. In order to do that, we got to put it on the lift. So we got to move the 67 out of the way, and we got to get strong like ox, dumb like plow to push this car over there. DB not included. Mush. It's not steering. Okay. Don't see anything modified up here. Looks pretty good. Apparently they took the exhaust off and tied it up with rope. Not before it got bent over there. Oh, he had to take, that's what it is. He had to take the catalytic converters off and sell those to make his house payment. Don't worry, if you're gonna do a chassis swap, find the rustiest one you can get your hands on. That's key. There's the aforementioned aluminum crossmember these things got. Oh, manifold bolts? Yeah, we don't need those. None of them on the bottom. Oh, yeah, that side I was just looking at, that was the clean side. I can only imagine how rusty the rest of the car was. Good grief. We should just pretend we never saw any of this, I guess. Oh, look at this cute little baby sway bar action they got going on there. That's a whole 5/8 inch diameter. Here's the fuel tank. We got to drop down. Floors are a little rusty. Oh, but here's where it starts. This is where it gets good. There's the bumper bracket, and there's the frame rail. And they should be tied together. Only stuck a little chunk of, what, 1x2 in there? Cobbled it together. Remember, kids, if you can't weld good, weld a lot. Yeah, they should have at least tied this to that. I don't know. What am I talking about? I don't know anything about chassis swaps. Lots of new sheet metal to tie the quarters to the floor. Oh yeah, he was an electrician for sure. Check out the conduit they used to make the fender skirts. Freaking sweet. Looks like the bag has separated from the rear end. Or maybe that's what they do. We're just gonna say that's what they do. 4-link rear. Don't these have a Watts link? I did remember correctly, they do have a Watts link. There it is right there. Cast into the center of the differential. Kind of a neat setup actually. Cool stuff. Aussie? I don't think so. Looks like 327 gear ratio though. Oh, so glorious. All that work on those fender skirts. There's our fuel pump. We could probably sneak it out without dropping the tank. Maybe, we'll see. I'm gonna let this thing down on the ground and hook some power up to it, see if we can't bypass everything, and maybe we got a plugged line, send some power to it, see if we spurt fuel all over the floor. Well, that didn't work, so guess we gotta pull that fuel pump. Great success.
Great success.
It's got a 7-pin connector, and only 3 wires go to this. Ooh. Yeah, it ate the sock right off of there, and then turned the rubber into DD's Speed Shop schmoo. Anyway, I cut some of them wires off there. Let's see if we can't graft an LS-based fuel pump on there. Some type of other fuel pump. And get this thing to run. Napa doesn't have one on hand, and they want $240, my cost. They can have it tomorrow. This thing's getting expensive. However, it was kind of nice that I could get the pump out of there without having to drop the tank. Not because that would have been bad, but because the bolts looked really rusty on the tank straps, and I didn't want to have to break those and fix them later. So, what do we got to do to take this apart? First thing, cut the zip tie off. What size is that? 1/4 inch? Nope, 7mm. This does look promising though, seeing how the sock is rotted off and everything. That the inside of the pump probably isn't that good, and that's probably our issue. Duff, are you gonna help? You just wanted to come over and see what that bad smell was. It's bad gas. You don't want that. Oh, that rotted off. So, what is that? Some type of built-in relief deal? What are you? Anybody know what that little thing is there? Must be a relief, because that must be like the return there. Because this is a 1-line pump. Right there. That's the only line. There's those wires I cut. I don't know what those are for. We'll splice them back together later, but yeah, pulse width modulation, PWN. It sends just as much fuel as it needs, no return. Except for this guy. How are we gonna fix this? Let's go see what we got on the shelf first. Looks like these things run 35, 40 PSI. The TBI ones that I got are like 15 PSI, and the next closest thing is an LS. So we're gonna put an LS pump on there. It's a little bit taller, as you can see, and connector's different. Everything's different. So we're just gonna make it work. Of course that doesn't want to fit in there, but it will, because we're gonna make it. I'm not able to get the sock on there, so we're going sockless today. But got it all plumbed up. High pressure clamps, high pressure fuel hose. We got insulated spade connectors on there. Yeah, let's see if it works. Hey, we do have a sock. Perfect. We're not hacks after all. Now we got to try to get this back in there and get this to seal back up. The beauty of having access to this is it's sitting like this, but our fuel level gets up here, so all of that has the opportunity of leaking on us. Should we test it outside the tank? Nah, what fun is that? I'm so confident that I am gonna hook the fuel line up. There we go. This sucker's gonna go, it's gotta. Got her in park. Good battery. Unhook your battery while you're swapping out your fuel pump, kids, and don't leave the key on.
12 seconds later.
My number 794. Oh, I don't have the fuel pump driver hooked up. Duh. Try it again. Slingshot engaged.
Slingshot engaged.
I love Fords!
It sounds just like mine.
How much do you love the Ford mod motors?
I actually love them so much. The 2 valves,
It's so good.
so good.
You want your pickup to sound just like this.
No,
Still.
I want mine to sound like a 5.4.
This thing will kill you.
I think this sounds cooler than it's.
Want to race for pinks?
No.
Joke's on you, because
No.
I don't have a pink slip for either of the cars that this is.
Be a fun trip to the DMV.
Johnny Cash, one piece at a time. It's a 59 2003 Pontiac Lincoln.
What?
Hey, it runs. Just needed to flash an ECU and swap a fuel pump. So, easy enough. Tech tip of the day, an LS fuel pump will make your 4.6 Crown Vic swapped 59 Pontiac run. Now we just got to put exhaust on it and a serpentine belt and everything else. DB's doing some pressure washing on the green short bed. Let's go ahead and put some nuts on those exhaust manifolds on this thing and try to get some exhaust on this car. I think that's what we're gonna do next, now that it runs. I'm glad this thing finally runs, because it was definitely testing my patience. I don't know why they didn't put all those nuts on there. Probably because they're a pain, so hopefully we can find some. DB and I got nuts on the rest of the manifold bolts. They were just missing the nuts on the driver's side, and they were all loose on both sides, top and bottom, so got those snugged up. Let me show you what we got to do for exhaust, and I'm not excited about it. I'm exhausted. So they cut it off here and here at this H pipe, and conveniently I think the catalytic converter is sat right about here. You can tell by the oxygen sensor wiring that's just hanging out here. There's one, I think there's one right here. Anyway, we don't have that, and we don't have the catalytic converters. You probably sold them to get money for crack. Which one of these was bent? There should be a companion flange right there. They cut this one off. And then it's got these resonator things, mufflers, I suppose. It's welded there. It shouldn't be welded. It should have a clamp like this side would have, but they took it off. And then they got these little resonators, glass pack things back here, and it's missing the tip. And it also looks like they cut up the hanger stuff, so we're gonna have to figure out the hangers. But Mortske, it came with all new exhaust. Yeah, well, it came with some new pieces. It didn't come with all the exhaust. Let me show you. You show them what we got, Duff? So we got the H-pipe with those companion flanges, and then we're missing the mufflers, and then that would go into the tailpipes, which don't have those resonators in there. So we're missing mufflers to tie those together, and we're missing the catalytic converters, and we're missing the down pipe or the head pipe. So we're gonna have to make some stuff. Oh wait, there's more, there's more. Here is one of those companion flanges that got bent up real bad. And then here's a couple of flared pieces of pipe, different diameters to come off the manifold. And there's one of the factory ones. So yeah, we don't have any bungs for oxygen sensors. This is the only oxygen sensor we got. There should be 4 of them. Great. We're gonna have to order oxygen sensors, probably order bungs to put them in. We gotta try to make this attached to the H-pipe and figure out mufflers. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try to make something coming off the manifolds, and then we're just gonna go from there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this new stuff or just use what's on there, because it's already on there, and it's already got more mufflers than this has got, and the tailpipes aren't gonna probably match up with this sweet bumper anyway. We're just gonna wing it. Don't cut your exhaust off. Take it apart the right way. Save yourself and the next guy a headache. I guess first things first. Oh, we're missing one exhaust stud. That's kind of a strange guy, so gonna need to find one of those and get these guys bolted up there and then start making some pipes off of them. Also, these flanges are way nicer on the factory ones. See how they got that vertical lip there? Than these aftermarket ones. Yeah, one size fits all, but they are made in America. That guy is already exhausted. All right, here's our update. I bent up a down pipe here, 45-degree bend, 2 1/4 pipe slides right into there. And then this pipe over here on the H-pipe is bent. So we're gonna heat it up with a torch and straighten it out. And that way we can try to get this companion flange back on there. That way, if we gotta take it apart, we can. And if we do a really good job, we can unbolt this H-pipe and bolt that one in there. But we're probably not gonna do that good a job. So the rope wasn't holding it for when I gotta pull on it, so we got our ratchet strap to the lift. Here goes nothing. Did I just turn this on, or has this torch been on for who knows how many days? Good thing it doesn't leak. We're gonna need more leverage. What do we got for leverage? There we go. Now the H-pipe is at least symmetrical. So we just got to put a bend to make those two meet up. Remember how I was going to put that flange on there? Yeah, threw that out the window. Look at this sweet unit though. Put a 45 in here, mates up good. Just got to weld that and then weld it up there where it adapts to the flange on the exhaust manifold. Got our flange bolted up over here on the passenger side. It gets real close to the firewall. Looks like it's ran for a while. Maybe he had it running and blew all that off. Or I did that in the minimum amount of time that I had it run. But anyway, we gotta dump that down real hard so it don't hit the toe boards. And then come back and mate up to that guy. I'm gonna warn you, the passenger side is not as nice. I'm really only good at making a pipe when there's 1 or maybe 2 bends, especially when they're 45, 90, or 180 degrees apart from each other, like this one. So this guy, we had to put a little 30 degree in there and then a 50 degree here, but they're rotated ever so slightly and they got pretty close to each other. So I kind of kinked the pipe there. Not really kinked it, but deformed it. And then of course I had that bend a couple of degrees off. So instead of scrapping this scrap pipe, yeah, that's right, I didn't grab a new stick. I just went ahead and cut it and we're gonna sleeve it right there. But anyway, it's gonna be real good. This would make a real good pattern if somebody did want to bend up the correct pipe. Just flange the end, put that bend in it, rotate it, put that bend in it, and you should be golden. So now all I gotta do is weld it up. The only issue is, like I said, I gotta weld it in the middle here where I shouldn't have had to do it, but it'll be plenty good for the rest, and it should sound almost like a stock Crown Vic with full exhaust, minus the catalytic converters. Oh yeah, and we'll have to get a bung and weld in this side for the oxygen sensor. Conveniently enough, the oxygen sensors are in the manifold on this side, so we can do that later. Here we go, let's give you an exhaust update. Looking pretty good. You guys already saw this pipe completed. Well, I guess it's welded now. This one is in and welded, and I did cut the bung out of the down pipe from the other pipe that we had left and put it in there. So I just got the old O2 sensor and there's a plug. We'll put a new one in there if we ever get some, but anyway, it's all plugged up. I found a plug for the other side and it looks like the other port is for EGR. I plugged that as well because, sorry, Greta.
How dare you?
Anyway, I'm exhausted, and so is the, what are we calling this thing? The Linkiac? The Ponton? The cat car? Comment down below what you would call a mixture between a 59 Pontiac and an 03 Lincoln Town Car. Anyway, it should be nice and quiet. There's a lot of kids around here who got these town cars and Mercury Grand Marquis and the old Crown Vics, and they sound terrible. I like them stock. The one that I had under that 68 Ford pickup, I used full exhaust. It was nice and quiet. It was good. These kids just cut them off and they sound like grain trucks. Maybe there's some Crown Vics out there that sound good, but everyone that I've heard around here, not good. Hopefully this one's quiet. No exhaust leaks. Crossing our fingers. One other thing we should probably address. There's one lug nut on here and it doesn't even seem like it's tight. Same deal with the wheel on the other side. So let's round up some lug nuts. I'm guessing they're metric. And make it so the wheels don't fall off if we ever get to drive it. It's factory 17s, hot rod Lincoln. There we go. 3 on there, much better. 3 times better than 1, right? Duff says he wants to know how she sounds. I bet it's quiet. I know. We can make it louder if we need to. Let's see if she'll start today. Why did it die? We got an exhaust leak up here. I think the new gasket got blown out because somebody ran it without the bolts tight. Of more concern though is why did it die? That's what happens when you're making it quiet, I guess. You don't suppose the pipes are full of Animal House? Oh yeah. She's full. Oh my good grief, it doesn't stop. I did unhook that EGR. Let's hook that back up, see what happens. Thought that would maybe keep it from getting a vacuum leak. Who knows? If that don't fix it, we'll scan some codes and see what happens. Guess we're scanning codes, Duff. P1237, P0108, manifold absolute pressure circuit high input. P0453, evaporative emissions control system pressure high input. I bet those are the wires we disconnected on the fuel tank. P0406, exhaust gas recirculation sensor A circuit high. I'm guessing that was because we had the EGR disconnected. P0403, exhaust gas recirculation control circuit malfunction. Again, probably because that was disconnected. Let's exit, erase all the codes, and see what happens. Now will it start? not likely. Kind of sounded like it wanted to better than before. Well, the only code we got is the P1237. P1237 is for the fuel pump driver module. So I'm guessing that fuel pump driver module is bad, or it doesn't like that we've got an LS-based fuel pump in there. So good stuff. But we can bypass it. These two wires go to the fuel pump, so one is a power and one is a ground. And then this white one is our power coming in, and then I forget which one's the ground. But anyway, we can use a jumper and go from the black to the brown and the white to the pink, and we'll bypass it, see what happens, see if it runs then. And then we'll know if it's that thing or not. All right, bypass fuel pump driver, still no change. So let's go ahead and verify that we are in fact not getting any fuel up here, because that's sure what it seems like. Well, I don't get any fuel there right now. Let's go cycle the key, see what happens. No fuel. How come? That is interesting. Let's bypass it with the power probe. Nothing. Still no fuel. So either that pump that we went in there is bad, or blew the line off in the tank, which we've had happen before, or the wiring between our fuel pump driver and our fuel pump somehow came apart. So let's dig into that, I guess. I love electrical. Great fun. We got our jumpers hooked up, jumpered it, nothing. So either the pump is bad or my connections came off. Yeah, that's pretty much got to be it, because you can't hear it running in the tank. We're getting real good at taking this pump out. I will give it to Ford. This is like the easiest fuel pump to remove from a tank ever. So I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I can't hear it run. The lines are hooked up. The sock isn't plugged up. The wiring all looks good. Maybe my electrical crimps are bad? Why would they be good for 90 seconds? Story of my life. Anyway, let's hook power up to this, see what happens. Remember that time we blew our faces off playing around with an electric fuel pump full of gas? The black is the ground and the pink is the power. Same way I had it hooked up. Get our fancy adapters to go straight to our pins here. I was gonna say I'm gonna be mad if this thing runs, but I won't be mad. I'll just be very confused. Nothing. Nothing at all. All right, let's take our connectors off there. Oh, that one was kind of loose. Is that the problem? Let's leave the black hooked up. I've got power. Still nothing. Did the PW image make our fuel pump go bad? We had a bad ground. Son of a biscuit. I hate these stupid spade connectors, but I don't have the right clip connector for it. Now let's try her again. And nothing. What's your deal? Got a bad crimp in my ground side. Shows I got a good ground. See that when I wiggle it, it goes away? My bad. I'm glad it ran for a little bit, because otherwise I'd have really been scratching my head trying to figure this out. How about now? I think we're golden. Here we go. Let's try this thing one more time. What do you think, Duff? Nice. Ah, there she idled down. Hear any vacuum leaks, Duff? I hear an exhaust leak. where we ran it with the manifold bolts not tight and it blew the gasket out, so it's gonna need one of those. Let's see how she sounds back here. She don't sound too bad, nice and quiet. Don't smoke a bunch.
It's going to be running a little bit rich because we have the locks on the sensors.
Yeah, better than it was. How's she sound, Duff? Not too bad? A lot quieter. Better for our IDEs. Next, I think, since this battery's just hanging out here, we got to make a battery tray. We might as well try to incorporate it with the inner fender because the inner fenders are just kind of hanging out over here in my way. So 2 birds with 1 stone. Get a battery mounted, Duff, and get some inner fenders out of our way. Actually 3 birds, and then we can, maybe mount some of this wiring and or protect it. So a whole flock of birds are going to get resolved here, hopefully. Actually fits in there pretty all right. He must have had it fitted up because he's got it all notched up for that. I guess I tried the other side. It didn't seem like it wanted to fit. But before we're done here, let's make some clearance or do something for the battery because right now it's just sitting on that. And yeah, we should probably tie that, aka the core support, to the front clip of the car and vice versa. Bunch of rotted out aluminum. Yeah, don't worry about that. Went ahead and took some dimensions off our DT78 interstate battery. We're gonna go ahead and make a battery tray. One of my favorite angle iron bed frame. You know why it's my favorite? Because it's free on cleanup week. If I had $1 for every one of these battery trays that I built out of bed frame, I'd probably have like $17. Here we go, 1 battery tray, custom made for a 59 Pontiac Catalina on a Crown Vic chassis. Let that cool down, figure out a way to mount it. There you go, battery tray is in place. Could use a little bit of beefing up for support because the core support can tip fore and aft, but I think instead of doing that, we're just gonna beef up the core support itself because that really isn't tied in anything, and this isn't tied to anything either, so let's tie Pontiac core support to the Lincoln core support, and that way the front end can't do this or this, and the core support and the battery can't do this and this. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Since we got the welder out, let's clean up some more floor space and try to get a bumper on this thing. Sure would have been nice if they'd have left the brackets on the bumper. Is it gonna stay there? Any bright ideas on how to tie that mess together? You know what we could do is we could just huck something up there just to tack it in place. I'll tell you what, let's take it down. The AC is not gonna work on this car without a new condenser. Get a good eyeball on that side. See what you think. Yeah, we're going for Mojo standards here. It ain't gonna be perfect. Definitely in the brackets that I build, there's gonna be a lot of adjustment with the skid steer. Yeah,
What is that holding on?
not a lot. Sure wish we had the factory bumper brackets so we could just modify and they fit the contour of the bumper, but no, somebody must have thrown those away. Should stay there, right? Yeah! Ship it!
That's got a little boing to it. It's spring loaded.
It's just like the bumpers on the late model GM pickups.
Shock impact, except for no retract.
Oh, we could put a light bar. Yes! God, we don't want our chrome to be sooted up. All right, doesn't look like the wheel's centered. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, that's the other thing is we can't really cheat the wheel ahead. They should have stretched the wheelbase, but anyway, we'll get it on the ground. Maybe it'll just fix itself. Also, I'm kind of concerned about some rubbage in the inner fender, but we got the Mortske body hammer to fix that. A little off on the bumper here, but it's easy to adjust. Right, Dippy? What do you think, Duff? How excited are you? Crown Vic swaps? Who loves a good Crown Vic swap? Dippy does for sure. Oh yeah, looks a lot better though. How's this wheel look? I feel like it seems like it's got to go ahead a long ways. That's probably what he was gonna do. He was gonna cut the front end. He knew that the guy wouldn't take it for free the way it was, so he took the fenders off so you couldn't tell how far off it was. So you could fix this, I'm just saying. The real hacker, you just take like 4 inches out right there, fenders and the hood, boom. Anyway, Crown Vic swaps, real good, you should do one. Front clip is reinstalled, even hooked the grounds up. I should probably check to see if it runs again, but I'm not gonna, we're gonna worry about that later. That's a future Mortske problem. I do, however, want to see if we can get a serpentine belt installed on this thing so that we can get the water pump doing water pump things and the alternator doing alternator things. And do you hear that, Duff? The Ford power steering. Get the Ford power steering pump working. Let's give this thing the belt. You want the belt or you want the buckle? Well, that was a good one. Scared Duff. Oh, that's not how we put belts on? Okay. Shoot. It was giving me flashbacks too. And installed. I'm gonna let you in on a little something that Mortske of the past found out. We assumed that the belt wasn't on this thing because it got a new alternator. But then we did a little research and the AC compressor does not want to turn. So let's remove an AC compressor, see if we can't get that thing to turn once again. And in order to do that, we're gonna lift the car up in the air because that's the easiest way to get at it. Oh yeah, we can totally get right at it. First things first, let's take this wire harness off of the studs that hold the compressor in place. Or not. This isn't gonna be easy, is it? So here's the funny thing is, the compressor will turn, but the clutch won't. Usually it's the other way around. The clutch will freewheel, and the compressor won't turn. Maybe we can just put a giant locking pliers on it and it'll turn? Oh, probably not. We're gonna try it though. Oh, did the night pecs go big enough? Oh, it budged. Maybe if we put a belt on it, it'll just go. Or maybe it'll smoke that belt, which I don't have another one on the shelf. That ain't good, kids. Oh, what is it binding on? We don't have to worry about it working because we know that the line is ripped off the condenser. So it's not long for this world anyway. I think it'll wear in. Worst case Ontario.
In worst case Ontario,
We go and get ourselves another serpentine belt and then take it off. All right, Mr. Fan Belt Tensioner. Would you turn? Not too growly. Oh no. Definitely don't have any 4.6 fan belt. Ooh, there might be one on a 5.4 out back. This one's gonna free up though. We're not gonna worry about it. Oh, this thing's smoked. I got it moving, but it's supposed to tension itself straight back, and it's not. Are we gonna worry about that? Maybe. So when I spin this tensioner clockwise, it should have a spring that pushes it counterclockwise. Kind of like so, but without the assist of me and a ratchet. I don't think that's going to work real well. I'm sure it has nothing to do with all the rust that's all over the rest of the car. Let's try to free it up. Ooh, it sounds so crunchy. Oh, for cheese and rice. Maybe the poor guy just needs a little zip. Hey, let's get the AC compressor while we're at it. Still not returning on its own. Don't you know where your home is?
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
There's a little spring action in that one spot. Not in that spot, though. Well, the nice part about the non-functioning belt tensioner is it'll be easy to put the belt on because the tensioner's not going to be in the way, and then we just hit it with a hammer and it springs against the belt, but it doesn't. Are you working now? Can we be friends? I just had to talk about you to the camera. So we got to loop, swoop, and pull.
Loop it, you swoop it, and you pull.
Hopefully Ford doesn't have as many belt routings as they do firing orders. And then you go over our little tensioner buddy and over the AC compressor. There's about an 86.4% chance that this belt either shreds or flies immediately off based on what we got going on with the AC compressor and the tensioner. Personally, I think those statistics are a little bit low. Okay. For all I know, this is the wrong belt. It does say AC Delco on it. Nothing like putting a Delco belt on your Ford 4.6 mod motor. It's basically the LS of the Ford world. Imagine the first guy who came up with the serpentine belt and was like, you know what we can do? We can run literally everything, all of it, off one belt. And they probably asked him, what happens when that belt breaks? Don't you lose everything? And he said, yeah, screw it. Let's do it anyway. I think his name was Adolf Serpentine. That's what they named it after. Well, it's on there. Is the tensioner tensioning? Not really. Let's hit the key, see if it still runs, and see if the belt stays on. Well, that's genius. So they had self-tappers with the rubber insulator in them for putting roof tin on, or tin. And that's how they were trying to make contact with their grounds. So here's the thing. When you're trying to make an electrical connection, you don't want an isolator. Okay. Is the belt gonna squeal? Or is it gonna shoot right off? Just don't break. All right, here goes nothing. Maybe it won't even start. What was that noise, Duff? Surely it's just a bad electrical connection. Oh yeah. That's what Vicky likes. Going hot. Hey, the belt's still on. I probably don't want to stand in line with it. Well, the tensioner isn't really moving, but it's tensioning. And it's not squealing on the AC compressor. And now we got an alternator and a water pump. Well, we kind of got an alternator. We should probably figure out why that's not hooked up. And the power steering pump isn't whining that bad. I would say it's because it's out of fluid, but isn't that when they whine the most? Oh, they make it easy to check. Oh yeah, it's got some nice brownish black stuff in there. Perfect. Do well, little power steering pump. This is glorious. Coolant? Not a chance. Not a chance. Oh, is that water? Better not be water, Duff says. I'm calling that a win, especially when we started with a stuck AC compressor and a tensioner that didn't want attention. I need to figure out what's making that buzzing noise and take the buzz right out of it. It's a bumblebee in there somewhere. Let's turn our attention to this alternator because all the wires that are under here, they got power going through them, or should. And the old DT78 interstate battery isn't gonna run this thing forever. This isn't a free energy machine, so let's get that alternator working. Now you may be asking, but Mortske, how do you know it's not working? Well, because this is the cable going to the battery, and this is the cable for your signal, and it's not plugged in. And you can't just plug it in because this bracket's in the way. So we're gonna take this bracket out of the way and get this plugged in, and that's gonna make it work. We hope anyway. First, we're gonna give her a little bit of coolant, and we're just gonna hope that this is the kind of coolant that it takes, because we're not gonna look. The internet is full of lies anyway, and somebody probably already put something different in it at some point. Oh, now I see why it's not plugged in, because it's a different connector. Let's travel back in time to when I got this car and I dug through everything inside the cabin and found a mysterious connector. Oh, I bet that's the wiring for the alternator that's not hooked up. You know, the heck with being a weatherman. I'm gonna be a parts man. Instead of being wrong 50% of the time, keep your job. You could be wrong 100% of the time being a parts man and still keep your job. So not only did they sell him the wrong alternator, it looks like, because the connectors are different, they also sold him the wrong connector. Well, it's the right connector because it's the same as this car, but it is the wrong one for this wrong alternator. So, what are we gonna do there? I don't have a receipt for this alternator, so I can't return it. I don't know what this alternator is, so I don't know how to even look for a connector. On the plus side, I got a brand new connector for a Crown Vic alternator that is probably unobtainium. The alternator, not the connector. Is there at least 3 connectors, just like the plug-in? Yep. So if I can just find out which wire is what I call the trigger wire, AKA 12 volt key power, we should know from the connector coming from the car. We just need to know which one the alternator needs. And if we just put a jumper in there, it should technically charge. I'm gonna show you this before we give up on the old Ultimatator. There's the Ford part number for this kit. Apparently spell check was not a thing in the Ford Motor Company. Yeah, those guys in Dearborn, Michigan. Also, all this does is show you how to strip wires and crimp them together. 0 instructions on what wire goes where. Got the old power probe out. Sure enough, it's not charging. So I got some jumper wires out and did a little testing with the power probe and found out what had power and what didn't. And I still can't get this thing to charge. So, pretty awesome. I'm just gonna put this all back together. We're just gonna wing it. We can only run it as long as we got battery power. This is the next person's problem. And if the next person is you, and you want to own this thing, price and availability in the video description. I just want this thing gone, so we'll do a parts tally at the end, and for whatever I got in parts, you could own this thing, which is adding up quickly with the cost of ECU flashes and fuel pumps and batteries and whatever else we've stuck into this thing. Probably not that much. Oh, exhaust. We get a few bucks in exhaust. Not bad. Anyway, if you want to own this thing, price and availability in the video description. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. This thing would be a really good car in your driveway. Or backyard, wherever. Garage, alley, dumpster. I think we're ready to go for a ride, but this seat is not. Let's fix that. This should be fun. I'm guessing that threaded stud, that threaded hole, that stud with a nut on it. Oh, that one snapped off. Guess we don't need that one. How frickin' rusty does your car have to be that your seat bolts snap off? Factory center console? Did anybody check in that for goodies? Ooh, another electrical. No way. Is that the right one? Not a chance. Oh, no way. We got the key fob. We could wire in the electric locks. I just saw this. The passenger door says 69. Well, let's see if this little guy that I found in the glove box is the... Oh, god dang it, now I gotta take all that crap back off. We'll do all that just to find out that it's not the right connector. Stay tuned. I thought we were putting seats in. I found a golden ticket. The golden ticket? Yeah, the golden ticket. Ah, the golden ticket. Well, maybe it's not golden, but let's take it apart and try it anyway. Tech tip of the day, don't buy anybody else's project. Also, tech tip of the day, if you do buy somebody else's project and you're not listening to me, make sure you go through the entire car to see if there's things in there that you might need for future you making poor decision project car guy. This is gonna fit. It's gonna fit. Are we gonna fit? With a hammer, it'll fit. It's not gonna fit. Nope, it's not gonna fit. Why is getting the right parts so difficult? I don't know why we're putting this back together. It's got to come apart again. Anyway, when we get either presumably the right alternator or the right connector. At least this way I'll know where all the hardware's at. Because you know what hardware I don't know where is at? The seat hardware. Now, can we put the seats in? Yes, now we can put the seats in. Oh, I bet these are power seats, so we gotta figure out how to get power to them so we can back them up. Mother trucker. And then if we do find the connectors and get them hooked up and they actually work, we got to find the switches to move the seat back because they're definitely not on the seat. Power seat life. You'd think it'd be in one of these 400,000 connectors over here. Oh, yes. I found the connector. Oh, yes, I found the switches. The right connectors. Ka-chow! One of them has a lot of wires for a seat. That one's got yellow. That must be for airbags. This thing's got airbags in the seats? It doesn't anymore. All right, seat is in place. But now is it gonna go back? Or are we gonna have to drive like we're Joe C? I feel like those should have power with the key off. I also feel like those switches don't feel like they're doing switching things. And it's all the way ahead. Let's try it with the key on. Yeah. Not looking good. You know what I think is dumber than Crown Vic swaps? Power seat installs. Like, how often do you need that? Are you gonna use it? Like, I get a heated steering wheel on a cold day, but who moves their seat ahead like more than 3 times a year? It's stupid. And we have to get the seat back so that I can A, drive this stupid thing, and B, put a bolt on the front. Yeah, we're gonna need that front bolt in from all the horse torques and the horsepowers and the gription, traction, axle grabbing, seesawing, toe jamming, twat-tanging, t-shirt tucking, Tommy touchdowning. Guess I'm gonna figure out which one of these circuits is for the power seat track, and then we're just gonna bypass it. We're gonna get the seat installed, slide it all the way back, and it's never gonna move again as long as I own it. So that's your problem when you buy this thing. We're dumb. Let's turn the key off so our battery isn't dead because we don't have a freaking alternator. Add power seats to the things I hate, along with Kraggers and headers and flexi hoses and whatever else. Crown Vic swaps. Frick. 3 electric motors under here. Which one slides the seat track? Who knows? I'm guessing it's the closest one to this jack shaft that goes left and right. And the wires going into that guy, you can't see. So, what color are these? Let's go with red green. What a good show. And yellow green.
So remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy.
Red green, yellow green. You're getting snipped. Red green, found you. Where's your yellow green compadre? Yellow white? There is no yellow green. Where is the yellow green? Oh, yellow blue. Electrical is hard. Anyway, the red green show, you're getting snipped and stripped. Take it off. I got yellow white or yellow blue. Yellow-blue sounds closer than yellow-green. So, in theory, if I hook power to one side, ground to the other, it should turn that motor. Yeah, well, here's the thing about theories, is mine all suck. Oh, it's because they changed the color going through the connector. It's yellow-green on that side, and it's pink-black on this side, because why wouldn't you, Ford? Pink-black. How about down here? Do we even have a pink-black, or do they change colors in there somewhere else? I don't even see a pink one in here. There it is. Found it. All right, pink-black. You're going down. Ooh, I like that. I got continuity through them. Yeah, I think we got the right one. All right, 50-50-90 roll. When I hit the power probe, is this thing going to retract? Or are we going to have to reverse the polarity so to get it to retract? Here we go. And that is not the right motor. It's for, I don't know, it tilts it up and down. Try again. Well, by the time we cut every single one of these, we should have gotten somewhere. So we got 2 motors left. Let's try the old 50-50-90 rule there. I'm thinking that one is what tips the front part ahead and back. So let's not go with those 2 wires. Let's go with red, white, and yellow, white. Do we got a red, white, and a yellow, white? Oh, nice. And they come through the connector the same color. Good job, Ford. If you were a snake, I'd be dead. Ooh, the toggle switches on the dash for this are going to look so good for the seats. Power seats, yeah. Got continuity. Here we go. Okay, that's all the way ahead. 50-50-90 rule bites us again. Now go back. Oh, it'll do it. If we give it some help. Red, white, yellow, white. We'll hook those up once we get the seat bolted in. And I'm going to sit on it and push on it, or make chin do it, or somebody smaller than me like DB, and assist it. I think it's a little sticky. Heck, let's spray some lube on the track right now. So much complication going on under here. Like, good grief, you got to be a rocket scientist to design one of these. Not to work on one, because I'm doing it. All right, red, white, yellow, white. Oh, it's so comfortable. All right, I can't get it any further. You better go backwards, you son of a biscuit. Here we go. Go back. Keep going, baby. Come on now. You got this. A little bit more. Oh, take a little break. Reposition ourselves for all the pushing. All right, baby. You got this. Whew. Now we just got to put one more nut up front here. Oh, and then a whole nother seat. Oh, don't worry. That one's power as well. Awesome. Where's the wiring for that one? I love power seats. I think Crown Vic swaps are better than power seats even. Oh, hey, Duff. How's it going? Yeah, I'll get your seat next. Don't worry. Let me just cross-thread this in so the seat don't fly out. Don't snap. Fudge! Well, it's got the rocking chair option. If I cared about this car just a little bit less, I would weld this seat in. But I still have hope that you're going to buy this car and want the seats to be removable. If 2 bolts don't hold it, 4 never would have. That's what that guy in Oklahoma says. Well, let's see if we can get at least 3 bolts holding Duff side down. Oh, yeah. Horn works. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This thing's got all the buttons on the steering wheel. Everything. It's got HVAC controls on the steering wheel. Temp, fan, stereo, cruise. Oh, this thing is legit. Okay. I'll get your seat in, Duff. Don't you worry. Duff says stay in school, kids. And Crown Vic swaps are dumb. All right, seats are in. This one's even got 3 bolts holding it down, so Duff is gonna be safe and secure. I didn't wipe it off just for him because I know he likes his seats all grubby. Also, if you don't own a Torx bit to take out seat belts, just cut them like this guy. Or better yet, go borrow a Torx bit from your neighbor or your stepdad, or go to the parts store and buy one. Or better yet, just set down all of your tools and take up a hobby like bird watching, or smoking meat, or brewing beer, or carpentry. Don't cut seat belts. Buy a frickin' Torx bit. Let's see if we can't get a hood on this thing so it's out of my way and it hides this frickin' hideousness. Don't worry about that. We're definitely gonna mount that up. I feel like I'm gonna regret putting this hood on because guaranteed we're gonna have to have it open a bunch more times because, you know, the fans aren't gonna work, or who knows what else there's gonna be. Definitely not gonna be doing any more electrical, that's for sure, because it's pretty much this whole episode electrical. If only that guy had some thumbs to help me put this hood on. You know what's dumber than Crown Vic swaps? Stone 59 Pontiac hoods by yourself. This thing's light. Holy shnikes.
Holy shnikes.
Oh, I think it's safe to say that my chiropractor is job security. As long as my brain keeps functioning at the capacity that it is. I'm only trying this because I'm lazy. I don't know how this makes me lazy. I'm too lazy to go get chin. And it's got studs on it instead of bolts. So maybe I can get it on there by myself. Duff just barked and said, somebody go help him. You tell him, Duff. Don't break the windshield. Don't break the windshield. Ready? This son of a biscuit is not light. Oh, but them studs are nice.
Yeah.
You're just gonna watch me work.
Yeah,
Got it.
I'm gonna watch you work, see?
Got it. You're not as dumb as you look.
Well, thanks for giving me credit.
Too short. Story of my life. There you go.
Ah.
All right, you can go back to working on things that are worth a crap. Shout out to Mojo for helping me not die. So you'll notice we're missing the hood latch assembly. I don't know if that's called the hood latch or what's on the hood is called the hood latch, but we're missing that too. It has left the chat. So, you know what we gotta do. I bet if you're into Crown Vic swaps, you're thinking hood pins. And what a great spot for them, Duff. Right here in the core sport, just whammy them right through. Well, no, we're classier than that. Speak for yourself. First, let's see if it shuts. Should we lubricate those hinges? Nah. Ooh, crunchy. Well, it looks like we got a shifter over to the passenger side on the front, Duff. Oh, those are crunchy. We definitely don't want to buckle our rusty hood, so let's lube those hinges up. Still sounds pretty crunchy. All right, shift it towards the passenger side. How about now? Ooh, little bindage back there. I could fix that with a hammer. Maybe. Maybe I'll leave it. Tell you what, it's good enough for a Crown Vic swap. I mean, look at those flawless body gaps. Front of this edge lines up within 3/8 of an inch. Perfect. She's ready for Barrett Johnson. I think we're missing that piece that goes over the wipers as well, but I mean, this looks glorious with all that tar in there. So yeah, why not? Rock it. So if you're not gonna use hood pins, what are you gonna use to hold the hood down, Mortske? Well, since we already got these glorious holes right here, yeah, that's right, glory holes, 2 of them, I'm gonna do something really awesome, race car-esque. More race car-esque than hood pins even. Here's the plan. Hook, slide it through the hole, and then tarp strap hooked to our securely fastened front bumper. So that way, the hood holds the bumper on and the bumper holds the hood down. Everybody wins. I feel like we're gonna need a pretty long one. Definitely don't wanna go with the blue. We want a black one, yeah. How about this one? Looks like it's been laying in a ditch for a while. The Astro Company. Oh, Astrup Company, Cleveland, Ohio. Maybe we're gonna need 2 of them. We'll see. Oh yeah, we're gonna need a longer one. It's not a tarp strap, it's a bungee, but it's black and it's long. It's maybe too long. If we go down there. It'll be fine probably, right? Maybe we'll put the safety latch on it too. Double it down. There we go. That ain't going nowhere.
He's going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere.
We're not even at 200 miles an hour because it's a Crown Vic hot rod. Gotta be honest, that looks pretty good. Ties it all together. Since we're working on latches, let's work on a trunk latch. Never mind the mouse house inside a said trunk. It looks like the latch is working, so if we get the key out of here, we should be able to get her opening and closing, latch and all that good stuff. Easier said than done when the screws are stripped out. There we go. There we go, just this little clip that holds the tumbler in, and somebody already busted the strap that goes from the latch to the tumbler. Give her a little lube. Now in theory, it should latch. I said latch. There we go. And with a flat screwdriver, we should be able to unlatch. Nice. Trial run, here we go. Well, it's latched. The nice part is, you got this fuel door, you can reach in and fix it if you needed to. Or tear your sleeve. No, the truth. Nice. Saved ourselves a tarp strap. All right, next on the list, this thing sits way too low. You won't hear that from me very often, but it's because the airbag's got no air in them. So let's see if we can get this compressor to work. This guy, right here. There's a fuse over there that I dropped in. And the other day, I had this thing running. This is the air line for it. So let's see if it'll pump up. Must have to have the key on. Makes sense. You don't want a dead battery. Come on, baby. Guaranteed this doesn't work. Or the... It's pulled a vacuum, so hopefully that means it's putting pressure out the other end. Let's see if it starts going up. Definitely on the bump stops. I don't think it went up any. So now you suppose it's the compressor, or it's the line leaking, or it's the airbags. I'm betting airbags, but let's unhook that line and give it some pressure and see what happens. No going back now. Definitely nicked that line. Dang it. So there's a black outer covering and a white inside. And you got to somehow cut through the black without cutting through the white. Now we hook our shop air up to our line. Hopefully the back end comes up. But it won't. No go, and to be honest, I'm not really an air ride fan on these things. You can throw a whole bunch of money at these things and just put coil springs. So we're gonna have to get a set of coil springs to replace those rear airbags. You know, for S's and G's, while we're waiting for some springs to show up, he left us the taillight socket and bulb and stub of the harness, so Thank you. What are we calling this thing? So I was laying in bed thinking about you guys last night. But anyway, so Pontiac, P-O-N, and then it's a Lincoln town car. So I was thinking of names and like, instead of the town car, and it's a Catalina, the town cat. We had a van that somebody I think suggested, the Poon Saloon, which P-O-O-N. So it's the town Poon? Poon Town? You guys gotta come up with a good name for this thing. Town cat, I think, is the best we came up with. It's more like an alley cat or a dumpster cat, but anyway, town cat. Come up with something better. Let's see if between all these bulbs, we can get some taillights working. Let's get this busted one out first. Let's get them both out and get some known good ones. Let's see if we can't get some brake lights working. What better application than to use our Screwed by Mortske Repair magnetic screwdriver? This is the Mojo Craft version. Get yours at mortske.com. Oh, ooh, these are brittle. 3157. Get yourself a hoodie from mortske.com so you can store all your tools and your parts in your little pouchy pouch here and burn holes in it from the welder or torching. Oh, yeah, that definitely busted. Hopefully that's, oh, this doesn't matter because we're going to cut this off. We just need to make sure they work. 3157s, we're going to try those. First, we got to apply the brakes. All right, here we go. No go. No go. So, we blow a fuse on the brakes. Oh, those are busted too, imagine that. How about we try the taillights? Yeah, right. Where's the friggin' headlight switch? Just taking a shot in the dark, but I'm guessing one of these is the headlight connector, but we don't have the switch. Did you see the headlight switch in the trunk when we dug through everything? Yeah, me either. And it's not in the dash, so yay. I feel like I would have saved it. Oh, there it is. Yes! How do we get that out of there? With the Mortske Repair magnetic screwdriver, of course. Come on, meow.
Now what is so damn funny?
Meow. Wasn't that a cop car, Crown Vic, in that movie? Had to have been.
Is that the same car, man?
Oh. Yeah. Scratch the headlight, taillight thing. It needs a switch. Whoopsies. Maybe that would go back together. But, yeah. Oh, just kidding. It totally went back together. Maybe we'll just leave that in there. Plug it in, see what happens. But do we have taillights? Son of a... Let's try a different bulb. That looks like a next owner problem. But anyway, the wiring's all here. You just got to figure out why it doesn't have power. And then once you figure that out, splice this bulb in there. Bada bing, bada boom. You got yourself some taillights and blinkers and brake lights. I guess we don't need taillights and brake lights. Hold the phone. The blinkers are working in the car on the dash, so see if we can get a blinker working. We're not giving up yet. Trunk pop. How sweet it would be if you used the solenoid out of the town car and hooked it up to this thing, and then you wouldn't need the key. Then you just go boop, boop, and your trunk would open. Somebody should do that. Electric trunk pop on your 59 Town Cat. I can hear it in the car. When I plug this in, it quits. Why is that? Why? What's your problem? How about the right side? Kind of sounds normal in the car. Plug it in and it quits blinking. You guys know how much I love vehicles, but I don't like them when they're all sacked out in the rear. No Carolina squat for us, right, Duff? We don't squat to pee. We lift our leg. Anyway, let's get this thing up in the air and let's get the old air ride out of the back of this thing. Isn't that weird? Taking an air ride out to go to coil springs? Seems kind of silly, Duff. But anyway, let's get that out of there so it's all prepped up for some coil springs. Bags are for groceries, Duff says. Well, according to the internet, these things just kind of rest in place, but you'd think they would fall out if that was the case. Come on, baby. Yeah, resting in place. Tastes like 2003. Those were the days. Maybe there's a spring clip on the top that holds them in place. And said spring clip looks something like that after you bend the crap out of it. I'm guessing it look something a little bit different, and then it just crimps on the top of the spring. Anyway, that's not going back in. All right, now we got to undo the air connection. And for that, I'm using a mini pry bar. Then you take that little clip off, and then your air connection just kind of twists off. I'll show this later, in case you're wondering what that spring looks like that holds the airbag in before it gets bent. That's it. So now, we need to give her the old twist and jerk method. So much suspension and rear end and exhaust and dirt. And there you go, one fantastic airbag. Ooh, it's Air Ride Springs by Firestone. So there you can see the twist and jerk method. You gotta twist, jerk, twist, jerk. So you got two twists instead of one twist. And there is where said clip holds it in place. But if you pull hard enough, they just pop right out of there. Firestone, world's #1 air spring. Just some nice airbags you got there. Well, it sounds like you got to take the shocks out to get the coil springs in there. So let's go ahead and get that done, even though the coil springs haven't shown up yet. Which makes sense, because I was wondering what keeps the coil springs in there when you lift it up on the lift. Well, it's those shocks. Keeps a little bit of tension on it. Without the shocks, no attention. Springs go kaplowy everywhere. People die. You don't want to see that.
Bam! Blood everywhere.
You know, what are the odds these rusty bolts come out? Not very good. Here's what we got for shock action. These are about the most outboard shocks I've ever seen. They're just about touching the rim. We just got to take this bolt out. Whole rear end should come right down, give us all kinds of room to get coil springs in there. But check this out. The fuel filler neck option. I don't hate it. I don't know what that connector is up there. Probably was supposed to be hooked up to something. I'm betting that's going to give us an evap code. But anyway, you must have bought some aftermarket fuel filler neck and a couple of hose clamps and a chunk of hose. Bada bing, bada boom. You must have hired a professional to make those welds. Could be worse. I've definitely seen better. Should I put a stand under it? Or should I risk death? Vote below. Stand it is. All right, here we go, baby. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Should have done this beforehand. That spring might have came out of there easier. Comment down below your thoughts on Crown Vic swaps. And preface your comment by, have you ever done one before? Because that's going to take you down a couple of notches if you've never actually done one. I have, so, you know, I'm speaking from experience. Plus, this is my 1.5 time. Is that a word? Does anybody use the Air Ride when they do them? I don't know. Comment down below if you've used the Lincoln and kept the Air Ride. I mean, it's cool when it works, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to maintain, I would assume. Seems like they're all shot. There again, a little bit of maintenance, throw a couple bags in and a compressor every few years, they're probably fine. Nobody likes the old bags. Well, some of you guys probably do. Ooh.
I'm in danger.
Oh, didn't die. New springs are here from A Premium. Expect more. Yeah, more disappointment. How do these, yeah, give them the old twister-ooski to get them apart? Whoa, it's like one of them Chinese finger traps. This is dumb. Oh, for cheese and rice. All right. Got him. Magic. Oh, please don't take my fingertips off. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Still got that digit. No, that ain't the one. That one. Ow! It's the luxury cars like the Rivieras and the town cars that are hard on fingers. We should be professionals by now. Oh, crap, too far. Beep, beep, beep. Reverse, Terry, reverse.
Put it reverse. Oh, Lord.
Ooh, got it. But these shocks are, shocks are in good shape. One thumb. You're gonna wanna get some of those coming when you buy this thing. They look pretty easy to replace at least. Time to see how she sits. All right, stop settling. Oh yeah, the lift kept going down. Nice. Give her the old jounce test. Jounce? Isn't that a cat term? The town cat? Oh, pounce. Pounce on it. Oh, those shocks are toasted. Add those to your shopping cart. I don't know if the brakes work. I don't know if the transmission works. So we should probably test those out while it's in the shop before we get outside and run into something or find out the transmission doesn't move. That would be my luck. Cut all the brake lines. Can't imagine they're rusted through. Well, there's a fluid in there that resembles brake fluid, so good enough for me. Guess we'll fire it up, see if the transmission's got fluid. Where is the dipstick, Jimmy? Oh, it's got some brown crud on it, so should be fine. I'm calling it good enough. Why doesn't our hood latch anymore? I was just bragging about how great the hood gaps were. Oh, got it. Besides being bald, the tires look a little low. We should probably check those first. Hate to blow out a tire and ruin these nice fender skirts. Whew, 12 PSI. Let's go for at least 32. I'll definitely not remember to put a link in the video description, but if you want a really good air chuck gauge thinger, this thing by Astro, awesome. It's got the quick connect clippy on the end. It's good. You pull it all the way to inflate, and if you just pull it a little ways, it deflates. It's got a huge readout. Even Ronnie Millsap could read that. Anyway, I don't remember how much it was, but it was worth it. Oh, and the whip on it is braided stainless, so way better than rubber, probably. Had it a couple years, works good. Let's test some forward and reverse action and brakes while we're at it. Oh, this seat is plush though. Brakes, feel like brakes. Reverse. Oh yeah. Not reverse. Nice. That windshield seems a mile away and very dirty. Good job for DB. Door latches. Oh, sounds terrible. Power steering sucks. Ford thing. Okay, this thing rides and stops and steers way smoother than pretty much everything we ever work on. Should we see if we can wreck the tranny right off the bat? Not bad! Not bad at all! We're gonna need tires. Let's get a look at this thing. And let's listen to the neighbor's grain vacuolator make Ford power steering pump noises the whole time. Oh, you wanna go for an RIDE in the Poon Town? Or is it the Poon car? Or is it the town cat who likes cats? You do? I left the seat dirty just for you. Oh, let's go. Load up, come on. Come on, over the top. Yeah, let's do this. You excited? Look at how far the windshield is ahead of you, Duff. You could have like a whole nother seat on top of the dash. What is making that noise? And how do I unplug it and make it stop forever? How about that one? That looks like an actuator that was making noise. So you just get a 55-gallon barrel and you just cut it in quarters and just lay it over the top. Be good. If only they made them in aluminum, so it'd be shiny-ish. Doesn't even look like a hack job anymore. There we go. I want to know how the dash got so rusty. Oh, let's look at this thing in the daylight sitting at ride height. Oh my! That was a good, did you hear it catch second? Got that wheel speed up. I didn't even look down and see if the speedometer was working. I was just hanging on for dear life, ready for this thing to launch, Duff. I think if you got some flat metal and put a little bit of a contour, patch that, same thing with the rockers, got yourself a basketball, football, whatever balls of your choice. Put it in there and pumped it up. You could probably knock that out. I bet you could get at the backside. Can you get at the backside, Duff? Oh yeah, you can get at the backside. Push that out. No balls required. This rust's a little bit harder to fix, but same deal. Flat iron, contour. You're gonna have to get real creative on the wiper coverage. And then scuff it and shoot it, or fill all these holes and then scuff it and shoot it. Just get yourself one of those SCR something contour tools, just surface contour resurfacer. I don't know. Get one of those and clean it all up, and then get yourself a turbo can. Who's the guy that does the turbo cans? Casey's Customs, not a paid promotion, just Casey's Custom, double fist it, you know, like he does, and then boom, done. Hook up some lights. Oxygen sensors I do have on order. It needs shocks, don't have on order. I got a brand new fuel pump sitting here for it to install. New owner can have that. If we don't get it installed, we won't get it installed. It almost sits too high now. It does sit too high. Dang it, cut a coil. You're gonna have to find the headlight trim because that is MIA. Make some bumper brackets. I would improve upon the hood latch, or don't. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's got a double safety latch going on. It definitely needs some adjustment. Get yourself some cop car wheels, the steel ones, and then the little dog dish hubcaps like I had on my 68 Ford pickup. That'd be real good. You could put Mustang wheels on it too, but don't, please. Little rust in the dog leg on this side again. Flat strip of metal there. Another one up here. Patch that up. This door is pretty bad, but again, it's pretty flat, easy to repair if you wanted to. I don't want to. The door's all open and closed. This one's kind of messed up. That lip needs some straightening. I don't know if the bolts are loose or what. Maybe it's just the hinges. I've never seen rear hinges that bad. It's fine. It latches. The filler cap, like I said, is acceptable, but I think it'd be cool to put a door in there, clean it up a little bit, but that's a pretty complicated piece, so maybe just leave that. Fender skirts kind of suck. I also don't hate them, so leave them. Maybe get the skid steer out and fix that bumper, but maybe actually tie it to the frame of the car before you push on it with the skid steer. I think this trim is in the back. I know it is. I don't know about this trim. If you messed around with this thing for a couple of Saturdays, you'd have a pretty good car. Get yourself, figure out something. The biggest thing is figuring out something in the dash, and then the back seat. Make yourself some door cards. There is one door card in the trunk for a pattern. It'd be an all right car. No title though. So, but I know a guy who can get you a title, but it's gonna cost half as much as the car. So I think Chin and I agreed we're gonna sell this thing for what we got into it. And so we got $850 into it. So $850, come get this thing. You know it does burnouts. Without further ado, let's go do more burnouts and donuts and things. As a family, me and Duff. The Poontown brings us together. Better lube up the door hinges. Blinkers on. Did check the codes. And yeah, it's all like evap and O2 stuff. Imagine that. Oh yeah, and it needs an exhaust gasket, but it's got all new bolts and studs, so it shouldn't be hard to fix. And it'll probably run a lot better with some oxygen sensors. Not better. It'll have more power and not be so rich. Because yeah, it makes the shop stinky. What was that? I think the power steering pump needs some work too. There we go. Oh, Chin did a bang-up job cleaning the windshield. Oh, we got a rear tire rubbing. We should probably address before we rub through. Yeah. We gotta take a fender skirt off. Maybe we just gotta lower it, then they won't rub. Oh, you can definitely see. All right. What else is holding it? Fine engineering, that's what. Oh, where was it rubbing? Right about there, wherever that was. Was that on the wheel well? Try number 2, huh, Duff? Oh yeah, put an ignition switch in. It only needs like $30,000 worth of parts. and 80,000 worth of labor, and it'd be pretty sweet. It does start good. It's kind of chilly, Duff. All right, try number 2. There we go. Sounds better, don't you think, Duff? Is our speedo working? No speedo. Dang it! Oh, it's such a sloppy mess this time of year. Well, I don't know if it's this time of year, because it is the beginning of February. But it's better than being 20 below, I guess. I think this thing's pretty good. It's gonna be a sloppy mess underneath after going through all the mud and slush. I don't even know if I want to whip a donut because all the trim in the back. Oh, rubs the inner fender a little bit when you full lock. I think you could probably bang those back a little bit, or take a bolt and suck them into the firewall or the frame rail. It gets it. I think these are rated at like 240-ish horse, and they're pretty all right. I mean, they get not too shabby, and 20 miles a gallon to boot. Wish the speedometer worked. I'm guessing since the speedo doesn't work, our cruise isn't going to work. What do you think, Duff? He just likes all the room between the windshield and the seat. Getting right up in there. Well, we might as well try her on the open road. Something's rubbing. Just sometimes, though. Or maybe it's a rattle that sounds like a rub. Temp gauge looks like it's coming up. Fuel gauge sitting at a half tank. I think that's working. So I don't know why the speedo doesn't work. Can't imagine it has anything to do with all the wires laying around here. All right, let's do some boogity boogity. Ready, Duff? You ready to feel the power of the Poontown, Duff? He says, yeah, do it. Yeah, the hood latch is only good to about 45. And then the hood starts coming up. Sorry, Duff. Yeah, I wonder if I can hook that better. You need a rear view mirror, too, if you buy this thing. It's making some funny noises, Duff. Is that coolant burbling? I think the noise is the electric fans. That's what I'm sticking with. Well, we hooked the hood latch a little tighter. See what happens. Yeah, definitely some tire rubbage when you got them turned. It breaks them loose at a roll. Feel the power. I think this thing would be pretty good. I don't want to drive it down the road without the hood latch. That would be my luck. Fold the hood over the windshield, and then you'd really have scrap iron. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it good. Bring a trailer when you come to get it. Right, Duff? Hood latch is only good to about 45, and then it gets a little hairy. I think it's the electric fans, something in them. Maybe. It's a little nippy with the wind. Overall, I'm pretty happy. There's a lot of bugs to work out, but the previous owner did the heavy legwork. Now it's just the little piddly stuff that takes forever, which is usually what happens on these projects. People get bright ideas, go through a bunch of work, and then give up, throw in the towel. Kind of like we're doing. But we got it, so it's running and driving at least. It's up to you to do the rest. You can drive it right onto your trailer. Oh, it's the belt. Maybe it's in the engine. I don't know. The fan's not turning, so it's not the fan. I bet an oil change wouldn't hurt. Yeah, see, once you get it up a little bit. That's exhaust leak, I hope. It must have oil pressure because the light's not on. It's only the service engine soon, ABS, traction control, and battery.
Oh, that's normal stuff.
Yeah, no big deal. I even did the work and found the headlight wiring for the next person.
That's very thoughtful.
Yeah, I'm a nice guy like that. The horn works.
I heard.
I'll show you.
Is there two of them? Because 2 horns went off.
That's what I heard too. It's got dual horns. Kind of a big deal. I mean, with the new hood latch, it might be good to 60, but this one's just for aesthetics. Really ties it together.
It really tied the room together.
All right, there you have it. We took somebody's basket case. 1959 Pontiac, probably Catalina. I don't know. We're not going to dig into it. And 2003 Lincoln Town Car Executive Unlimited something or other. And we made Poontown. Or call it whatever you want. Comment down below what you'd call it. Anyway, this thing needs to go. 850 bucks. Bring the cash money. No title. It'll probably drive on the trailer. Maybe if you get here quick enough before we wreck it. Price and availability in the video description. If you don't see it down there, it's gone. Because this one's going to go fast. Some Pontiac guy hopefully gets it and steals all the good parts off it and scraps the rest. Just kidding. I love Crown Vic swaps. Anyway, that really tested my brain cells, both of them, and a lot of wiring. There's still more wiring to do. Just make my day if he just pissed on the tire of this thing right now. Anyway, the Ford power steering pump lords next door are hammering it out, so we're probably gonna wrap that up because it's cold, the sun's going down, and the batteries on this is gonna die. My batteries are gonna die. It's time for a sandwich. So thank you very much for watching. Go check out the merch. Mortske.com. We got a handful of the if you can't weld good, weld a lot t-shirts left in black. The obnoxious neon chin green sold out real fast.
We got a couple left, big sizes.
Big boys. Anyway, go check that out. Check out the merch. Check out the hoodies. Check out the fleece beanies that are really soft and warm and I should be wearing right now. But most of all, remember, it doesn't matter how you get it done, so long as you're having fun. And that's what Crown Vic swaps are about. Sucking and having fun. All right, on to the next one. Remind me to never buy another Crown Vic swap again. You couldn't really tell inside that the wheel was not centered, but it's definitely not centered. And so we made a lot of discussions and the best choice is to just rock your poor decisions. You could buy another set of fenders and then move the wheel arch back and buy a bumper and move that all back, or move this back, or cut the whole front of the car off and move all that back. But the wheelbase is definitely not the same between a 59 Pontiac and a 2003 Lincoln Town Car. Anyway, the more you know if you're gonna do a Crown Vic chassis swap, make sure the frickin' wheelbase is the same, or stretch it, or shorten it, or just live with your poor life decisions, which is probably what you're gonna do. All right, on to the next one. I need to go get a beanie cap.